So one of the best things about Starfield, in my opinion, is that this is a game you can truly play any way you want. I know some people that focus on the main story missions, and I know other players like myself who get completely and totally sidetracked all the time. I know for me, I wind up starting one thing in the game, then 3 hours later, I'm like, what the am I doing at this random bar in the middle of nowhere? Like, I have no idea what happened. But the point is this, regardless of how you may play this game, in my opinion, there happen to be a few skills that you definitely want to spec into early. So today we're going to go over what those are, and as always, answer some of the questions you've sent the channel. What is going on, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and I know it can be a little bit daunting when you're starting off this game and you look at that skill tree and you think to yourself, what should I spec into first? So my goal with today's video is to hopefully help make that decision a little bit easier. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, and we are having a giveaway for an Xbox Series S. We're giving away 2, and all you need to do to enter is either subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winners will be announced October 1st of this year. Now, there happen to be a few things I'd like to mention as we start this video off, the first of which being is that you can spec into every single skill in your skill tree and max everything out. Now, obviously, that is going to take some time, but ultimately, if you put enough time in, you can have a completely and totally maxed out character, so choosing one thing initially over the other will not have any effect long term. Now, the other thing has to do with how you initially intend to play this game, but I will go over some of those details as we progress. Now, the first section we're going over is tech, and the one thing you want to spec into without a doubt is your boost pack training, and there are 2 main reasons for that. First of all, it is a ton of fun to use, and secondly, it makes travel time on different planets or really any area in the game much easier and more enjoyable. Now, to give you an idea of how you level things up, I'm going to use the boost pack as an example, and as you can see on the screen, in order to increase your rank on any skill in the game, you have to complete certain challenges that are linked to that skill. So for instance, with the boost pack training, if I want to get from rank 2 to rank 3, I need to boost jump 25 times while in combat. Now, once I do, I will then be able to use one of my skill points to up the rank, and I will continue to do so until that thing is maxed out. Now, another skill I recommend speccing into early on is security, because that is going to help you pick locks in the game. You are going to run across many of them, and not only that, obviously something with a lock typically will have something worth of value inside. So this is something I'm definitely making a priority as I begin, because as you progress in the game, locks will become more difficult, so I want to make sure I'm prepped for anything that I may encounter. And one thing I want to make sure I mention as we move on is that this is going to be the first of many videos I bring you in regard to the skill tree, because as you can see on screen, there are advanced skills located underneath these initial ones, but today is all about things you should focus on as you're starting off in the game. Now, that is going to bring us to the science portion. And the first one I've chosen is medicine, because that is going to give me more health and it's going to heal me much faster. The next one is geology, because as most of you know in this game, you are going to be crafting a ton of stuff. So the more you're able to pick up when you're farming is obviously a very good thing. This will help you do just that. Now, next we're going to talk about weapons. And as I mentioned earlier, this is one of those categories that's going to be a little bit subjective, because it's going to be dependent on what type of weapon you want to use the most. Now, for me, I'm using ballistics, but for some of you out there, you may want to use shotgun or lasers. You may even want to work on a melee build. It is totally up to you. So again, my recommendation is simple. Pick the weapon you want to use the most and then go from there. That now takes us to the social aspect of the skill tree, and the 2 that I'm focusing on initially are persuasion. That is going to help you sweet talk people in the game. That definitely comes in handy depending on what you're doing. And the next one is commerce. We know in this game money makes the world go round, and it means that you will be able to buy stuff for less and sell other things for more, and that is going to bring us to the final portion of the skill tree, which is physical. And that brings me to another skill I recommend speccing into regardless of how you play this game, and that is weightlifting, because in this game we know you can pick up a lot of stuff really quickly and you can become overburdened really fast. And that means not only are you moving slower, but you can't fast travel, which is a total pain in the ass. So again, my friends, I do recommend speccing into this. Now, the next one is stealth, and once again, regardless of how you play this game, you want to have at least 1 or 2 ranks on this, because it is going to come in handy if you're going into a shop, you're trying to take something maybe without paying for it. I mean, this is something I've talked about in a previous video when it comes to certain weapons. Because in this game, if you're sneaky enough, you can pull off a lot of stuff really quick, get some really great stuff for no money whatsoever. It does not affect how people look at you or anything like that. Again, it's going to be dependent on if you get caught or not. And this skill truly helps you stay undetected, and it's not just about stealing stuff. I know that makes me sound like a terrible person, but if you choose to play this game in a more stealth mode, you like to sneak up on enemies. It is going to help you stay undetected in that situation as well. I sincerely hope this video helped you out, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Now, as I start to wrap this video up, I want to once again remind you that all of these skills are subjective. It is going to be dependent on how you like to play the game. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can also spec into every single thing, max everything out eventually. Yes, it's going to take some time, but from where I'm sitting, there are so many things to do in the game, so many different ways you can level up. There is no shortage of different opportunities to do so. Now, I will be bringing you videos in regard to that as well. And as I said before, if you have any other questions, please let me know. Now, the last thing I want to mention as I wrap this thing up, and this is something I mentioned in a video yesterday, there is unfortunately a bug in the game right now having to do with the autosave system, and players are losing hours of the gameplay because they are relying on that system to work, and it is not properly working at this point. Now, that also holds true for the quick save system as well. So my recommendation is make sure you are manually saving this game every 10 to 15 minutes at the most, or make sure anytime you do something significant, such as start a new mission or even a side mission, take that quick moment, open up your menu, manually save the thing. You do not want to lose out on any progress whatsoever. Now, if you want more details, I will leave you a link in the video description down below, which will hopefully help you out. On that note, I want to thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. I sincerely appreciate the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.